Turner Yell makes the stop in the secondary for Denver. 1st and 10. The fake. Good block in there, and down it goes. Caught at the 30. This is the dynamic Hill. He's in for six. Tyreek Hill. Touchdown. What a block.
Take into your hands a plan. Your own hands can land your own brand. And damn, I feel like no one takes accountability. They want the credibility, convincingly unwilling to put in the hours it takes to get some power. Don't be f***ing sour. Take a cold shower. Scream until you're louder. Work until you're prouder. And f*** all the doubters. They're just your downers. I swear to God they all let me down. I always fought just to wear the crown. I'm f***ed off, it's these f***ing clowns who were all taught they deserve it now. It's only worth it if you work for it.
What's happening, Dolphins fans, and welcome to another episode of the Fins Tailgate. I am your host, El Capitan, and tonight on the tailgate party that never seems to stop, we're going to break down this film. I got a couple of plays I want to go through. I want to break it down for you guys, tell you what I see, what went wrong, what went right, how the game ended up getting away from the Dolphins against the Bills. And defensively, you can see where things went wrong. So, I mean, the defense kind of picked up towards the end, but the game was lost at that point. And then the offense started falling apart, trying to do too much. Not a lot of the same stuff we've seen from Mike McDaniel in the first 3 weeks. I don't know why. Maybe because of the offensive line. Maybe because, they didn't think they could have time. Big problems. But we're going to break it all down and, hope you guys enjoy it. Hit the like button on your way in. Make sure to share this video. Become a member of the channel. Donate. Do all the good stuff. Become a part of the TFTG family and really help us out, guys. It takes a lot of work to do what we do, and we do it for you. And, hitting the like button and sharing the video is a great way to help out. So let's get right into it. Miami Dolphins won the toss and elected to defer. And the Bills come out marching down the field, running very effectively against this defense, right up the gut, and some short passes. Now they're at midfield, and here's one of the bigger plays. And immediately, watching film, they probably said, hey, if we get Diggs on Kohu on the boundary, we're going to try it and see what it does, and then we're going to look to expose it. So on this play, the Dolphins actually call up a blitz. One of the few times they had all game, and one of the few times they do throughout the course of a game. We all know Fangio isn't really into it. They bring both linebackers in on a blitz, and there's motion here at the bottom of the screen that comes up with the tight end coming tight to the formation. And Allen's just going to simply avoid the rush in the back. Cook is going to come up and lay a nice block here. And Diggs is just going to come up on this out route and just beat Kohu, who immediately looks completely discombobulated out there. So after that completion to Diggs on Kohu, he got an unnecessary roughness, pushing him out of bounds, giving him 15 more yards. That puts him right inside the red zone at about the 18-yard line. And the Dolphins elect to go off-man coverage right here. And you'll see 1v1 coming up. Now on this play, Gabe Davis is just going to simply run a go route all the way straight on up. And in coverage on this play is Bethel, who I don't really like off coverage. You're not able to jam anybody, and giving two wide receivers this much cushion like this is asking for trouble. And they found the matchup that they wanted, and they end up finding him free in the end zone just with Bethel trying to catch up to him behind, and it was just an easy pitch and catch for Allen after the penalty. Now, if you take a look back at that play again, I'm going to point out something where this was a good fake by Allen on this play. If you notice, the running back, which I believe it's Latavius Murray, I'm not 100%, comes out here for a little runoff in the flat, and that's what causes Bethel to sit on his route while Davis just takes advantage and marches all the way up on the field. Easy touchdown. At this point, early on in the game, the Dolphins' offense was still going tit for tat with them, and Tua and Mike McDaniel put together a decent game plan, catch the defense flat-footed, hit them for some good strikes, and end up scoring on this drive. So on this play, nice play design by Mike McDaniel. You'll notice at the top of the screen, that's Durham Smythe right there with his hand in the dirt. Now, down here at the bottom is Tyreek Hill and Jalen Waddle, and it causes some confusion here on the defense as to who's got who, and probably something they've seen on film, looking for what eventually happens is Tyreek Hill, after the snap of the ball, comes into motion and on this wheel route over here and just comes streaking down the field. Now, Tua does a great job right here with faking the handoff, and then Durham Smythe just comes free down the field. Because of the early snap motion, it causes everybody to get scared with Tyreek Hill running full speed down the sideline. And this was just a nice, wide-open catch from Durham Smythe, who ends up picking up 22 yards afterwards. It was a nice shot by Tua. Boom. So this was the first sign of trouble for the Dolphins of the day. Tua out of the shotgun. The target is intended for Raheem Mostert, who's lined up here down at the formation. And he's just going to run a low drag route across the screen here. Now, meanwhile, Waddle comes out as the second option in the middle there. But the problem of this entire ordeal is that they just get all messed up in here on the defense. The defense just works them. Tua is completely throwing off of his mechanics aren't on in this throw. He's throwing off platform, to say the least, and it was an ill-advised throw. Trying to fit it in. I understand you got to make something happen. We got away with one here because as it ended up happening, it goes off the fingertips of Raheem, and the ball gets bobbled around, and luckily Jalen Waddle, who tracked the ball amazingly, ends up catching it and keeps this drive alive, because it could have got ugly real fast real early in this game. Ball is snapped. Little motion there at the top. Pump fakes, throws off his back foot with pressure in his face, and Waddle's able to get there. As you can see, I'll stop it right here. Look, they only bring 4. There's tons of options coming here, and all of these wide receivers that are coming around and the running back who is in motion should clear everyone out underneath. The problem is Tua didn't have any time to set up and make this throw. Right away, still looks like it's good. Looks like he wanted to hit Berrios there, but goes to option 2, and there he is wide open. And already people are starting to beat their guys, and Tua can feel the pressure and just sails it a little bit, and lucky we got away with one there. So this is definitely the type of play I want to see out of this offense, and it was a great play. Raheem Mostert is here at the top of the screen, and he's going to come into motion and right after the snap, and Tua's going to fake him the handoff. He's going to then come around this way, and that, because of that, it's going to freeze all of the linebackers here. Tyreek Hill is at the bottom of the formation right here, who ends up running just a high route across the middle here where he gets lined up on the linebacker, and the Tua on the rollout after the fake comes from where he's at and rolls out this way with pressure in his face and is able to put the ball, bam, right down on top of Tyreek. Just a great matchup, and this is a big gain, which put him into into scoring range. Fake, roll out, pitch and catch, boom, all the way down at about the 15-yard line. So after a 5-yard offsides penalty from the defense, which put the Dolphins on the 10, and then a little pitch out of motion to Devon Achane, the Dolphins now find themselves right around the 4-yard line where, this is just classic misdirection here. Tyreek Hill is over here already coming into motion, and he's going to come down, and then he's going to come all the way back around again and end up showing up over right like down here. And all this is intended to do is just freeze the feet of the defense long enough for this dive where the bunch formation is down here with blockers out in front. Notice Durham Smythe over here. Notice Alec Ingold over here, which makes a nice, easy... Well, I don't even know what I want. Makes a nice, easy run, which, I don't know, easy run, but able to have Devon Achane get himself into the end zone for the Dolphins get their first score. Boom. Arm tackles are not going to bring down Devon. So after they've gotten a couple of passes and some short runs here and there, they've spread the ball around pretty well, getting it to Dalton Knox, getting it to Kincaid, getting it to Sherfield even. The run game really is what disappointed me. The Dolphins needed to do everything they could to make them one-dimensional, and they had no answers. The Bills go max protection on this one, and this is Latavius Murray deep back here. And they just, the linebackers, man, picking the wrong hole, getting caught up in coverage, and they just allow Latavius Murray to just come free, untouched, all the way until Brandon Jones comes up to try to make the tackle. Now, Brandon Jones, dude, he just was not himself, still coming back from injury. But worse than that, why is he the deep safety? He was never really playing deep safety for the Dolphins. He was always down in the box, more of the slot corner, in the box type safety, playing the run, doing stuff like that. Playing as the last line of defense was always Javon Holland's job. And I really feel like Fangio made it clear a complete error here by having Jones coming out with his first start in the defense, playing the deep safety, something he had heck out of us for 22 yards on this one. Watch this. Boom, right there. Good blocking. Linebackers get caught up in traffic. Here comes Jones to try to make the tackle, misses the tackle, and then Jerome Baker's got to come back and make a play downfield to stop a touchdown from happening. Which, is just nasty work because Jerome Baker got caught up in traffic. David Long just got blocked out of it by the guard who got to the second level. D-line needs to do a better job preventing that from happening. But now it puts them inside the red zone at about the 14, 13-yard line. So after a Josh Allen run and the exact same dive play called 3 times in a row where they have Cook handed the ball off to Allen, and they run right here, right between Christian Wilkins and Zach Sealer, and they find themselves now at the 1-yard line, and for the 3rd time they're going to call the same friggin' play, which the defense just hasn't been able to stop the run. Nobody's getting penetration, and they just get in for an easy touchdown here. 3 times they called this play in a row. That was probably their best run defense of it. And Josh Allen pushes them from behind to get him in there. But, I mean, dude, you cannot allow yourself to get embarrassed by having the same run ran on you 3 times in a row. One for a sizable gain, a gain, another for a medium gain, which puts them on the 1, and then they do it again to score. It was just, it was embarrassing. So with the Bills up 1 score, the Dolphins are still able to use the run game sparingly, and the Bills still have to respect it. But they are now playing press man. And this is Tyreek Hill down here. Jalen Waddle's at the top. And Tyreek Hill on this press man is going to come up over down here. Tua's going to fake the handoff to A-Chain, who is moving to his left. Right. Oh. A-Chain, who's moving to his left. Right over here. And it was a decent play. Tua flushes out of the pocket just slightly and gets a little bit deep into his right. Able to put the ball nicely on target for a sizable gain, which the Dolphins offense continuing to, go blow for blow at this point while the defense is trying to get their footing early in the game. Fakes the handoff, pump fakes, looks back over. That was his second read. His first read was Waddle, and Hill's able to bring it all the way to midfield, which was great. Let's look at that again. Because of the press man, Waddle at the top of the screen was where Tua was going at first. Waddle gets tripped up, and Tua seen it just in time and was able to hit Hill, which both of them were right there in the middle of the field. So on this play, Waddle's down here at the bottom. They're doing a little bit of off-man coverage. You got Berrios here at the top with Tyreek here and Durham Smythe here in the middle. Now, they play tight man-to-man coverage on Smythe and Tyreek, but Berrios was getting a little off-man coverage, and as he comes around over here, Tua finds him in the soft zone spot, and a wide-open pass, catching him as soon as he breaks on the route. Was an excellent throw by Tua, and puts him right inside the red zone for a score, for a chance to score and tie this game up. Boom. Beautiful, and puts him right down around the 10-yard line. So on this play, it's just good blocking up front by the line. They go 12-man personnel. You have Devon A-Chain over here who comes into motion behind the line of scrimmage right as soon as the ball's snapped, and Tua is able to just hand him off, and A-Chain then takes it with all his speed right into the end zone. The Dolphins end up tying up this game. A-Chain, dude, that guy is for real. His speed, as long as he can get guys not squared up on him, if you're trying to tackle him from the side, you ain't gonna tackle him. Arm tackles, he'll run right through him. His speed is so good, and his contact balance is just excellent. So this is, again, they saw what they saw with Kohu against Diggs. They like that matchup. Here's Kohu right out here, who's the Dolphins are playing zone, so he's way off the ball here. And Diggs, right over here, just comes up, and Kohu just doesn't have the speed and athleticism to keep up with Diggs. And this is just an easy pitch and catch, which, it just sucks because it seemed like, why would you leave him out there? Why wouldn't you have Xavier Howard shadow him? Again, Fangio sees this happening, which allows them to get into a scoring distance here directly, especially the next play. But they needed to make in-game adjustments, or at least adjustments at halftime, and that didn't happen. And I lay that blame on Fangio. As you can see, Cater playing off. Here it is. Backpedaling, gives all the room in the world. Easy pitch and catch. I mean, that's just easy money for them. Now on this next play, again, playing man-to-man at the top of the screen, Cater Kohu is lined up again, all out on an island. He does have some safety help over the top, but again, who is that? That's the guy who just got back from injury. So essentially, you're asking a second-year guy to play on the boundary when he played at the slot all first year pretty much, to cover one of the best wide receivers in the NFL, then have a guy who just got back from injury as his cleanup or help guy. Again, I don't see how Fangio allowed this to happen. It's really malpractice by him, to say the least. And on this play, Kohu gets hit with a penalty, and it's a massive one. I think it was like 50-yard penalty. So look, here he is all the way down there. Now, Kohu is in position. He just doesn't get his head around in coverage, and they're just going to call you that all the time. Now, granted, it was a terrible call on a foul, and I don't have that angle here for you, but on the close-up, Kohu did not push him. He just he reached out, he hit the ball. It was clean, but a savvy wide receiver like Diggs is going to know how to fall back and hopefully draw a flag, and this was just a killer. But again, Kohu shouldn't have been in that position to get that flag. That should have been Xavier Howard able to get his head around, because he would have had inside on a short pass and would have been able to pick it off. I mean, that's just a fact. So this play, I'm not really mad at anybody at. I mean, after the penalty, it put him at the 20. They, surrendered some runs, some passes, stuff like that. They ended up getting inside the 10-yard line, but then a flag was called on the offense, ended up moving them back a couple of yards. And now it's second and goal from the 11-yard line. And Dolphins get pressure there. They, but Allen's able to escape the pocket, and he just fits and threads the needle to Diggs right in the end zone. I mean, Diggs is all the way up here, comes around, breaks across the entire formation, boom, inside the red zone, boom, right there, and able to help out his quarterback, who ends up getting flushed out of the pocket a little bit. He takes a nice lick, but he gets flushed out of the pocket a little, comes over here and throws the ball. I want to say it was Van Ginkel that put the lick on him. We'll see here momentarily. Diggs just got deep on there. It was clean. Just a clean, wide open, helping his quarterback out. Let's look at it again. Comes into motion, drags across the middle. He step shoved that put the hit on him, but too little too late as he gets it in there. On the Dolphins' next possession, it was just riddled with penalties and incomplete passes, and they end up having to punt on that. I think they only gained 5 yards on a run the whole play, maybe 3 in a pass play as well. I don't know. But, come up short, have the punt the ball away. But the defense finally shows up after giving up a 22-yard pass. They end up holding them to a 3-and-out right after that, and was able to punt the ball and get the Dolphins back on offense. But again, after that, the Dolphins went 3-and-out, and this was the costly 3-and-out. Pass was incompleted to Mostert, but this was the play in which Teron Armstead went down with injury, and that's when, it really started looking like a real rough day. There was, possession, punt, Bills punt after a 3-and-out. Dolphins come back out, another 3-and-out. They punt. Now the Bills got the ball back, and after an injury to Teron Armstead, they end up scoring on this drive. So after the Dolphins punt, the Bills get it around about midfield. They pick up 4 yards. It puts them at around the 44-yard line. And the Bills, again, like the matchup that Diggs against Kohu, they see Fangio's making 0 adjustments in-game to it. And they go ahead and bring, from the bottom of the screen, they take Diggs into motion to put him up against Kohu out here in coverage. And this is just heads-up work by a top-tier wide receiver, going hard on a younger guy who's being left out to dry. And Brandon Jones, who's out here, comes over to try to make help, to help after the catch when Kohu drops over here and the ball's caught essentially right around this spot over here. But he doesn't help him at all. He ends up knocking Kohu off the tackle, in which Diggs just takes this all the way to the house. And now the stadium is romping. And they go up a touchdown on the Dolphins after a series of punts by everybody. And here it is, pass, caught, got away with a little bit of a push-off there, and that's it, man. This is just ugly, ugly work right here. Just beats everybody to the sideline, and that was just not what the Dolphins needed at this time. So now with the Dolphins being down 2 touchdowns, they're trying to remain balanced, still getting some runs in there. And this was the first of mistakes made by the offense. They bring Ingold here in motion to the top of the screen to come out like this as to be the lead blocker. Tua ends up pitching the ball to Mostert on this play, but it's almost like they had like a jailbreak, like if they were bringing a blitz, but then just, brought everybody on the run. They just they sniffed it out from the jump, and Raheem Mostert ends up fumbling the ball on this, which just makes it absolutely the worst case scenario right now for the Dolphins being down 2 touchdowns. Ingold goes ahead, pitches out. Here it is, boom, hits are made. Milano and company are there, and they end up recovering the ball on this one. So after the Dolphins defense have probably their best drive to hold the Bills to only a 3-point increase, putting now the Dolphins down by 17, the Dolphins offense come out and things just start kind of continuing to spiral. The defensive tackle here ends up moving his way to his spot, which is basically to sit and come right up in the formation and sit here and look for Tua to step up in the pocket. And, as Tua goes and steps up in the pocket, he makes just a good move. There's not really anybody to blame. I guess you can blame Eichenberg for not getting him out of the way, but Wynn and Jackson, I think that's Wynn. Yeah, Wynn and Jackson on the left side end up, getting the double team over here on the pass rusher on this side of the formation. And it's just now they're giving up sacks. Now things are starting to snowball. And this ends up in a result where the Dolphins end up taking a punt after a 7-yard loss. Just not good. Not good at all. So after a terrible series for the Dolphins' last possession, that ends the half. They come out with getting the ball in the second half, and, I was happy to see they stuck with the run. They pulled off some decent runs on this drive. This is circled here at the bottom is Jerome Smythe, who's going to come out and lay the block here on the edge. And this is just simple, friggin' outside zone 101. Tua hands the ball off to A-Chain. A-Chain takes the ball with all his speed and makes a nice sizable gain on this drive. And it's good to see that the Dolphins, although being down 17 points, don't get, their head out of the game. They come back on offense, ready and set to go to try to get themselves back in this football game. Actually, that was Julian Hill, not Durham Smythe, but a nice block laid out by him. And A-Chain, just with the speed, does everything else. Pickup of about 15 on that drive. So after a play in which Tua nearly avoided a sack, luckily he got the ball off, because that would have been a huge loss of yardage if he would have taken that sack. The Dolphins come out on 2nd and 10, and Tyreek Hill up here at the top of the formation just comes into motion as soon as the ball is snapped, and Tua hands him off the ball. And this is a creative way to spread this defense out. As you can see, they're all getting mucked up here in the middle, just trying to load the middle of the field to take away the passing lanes for Tua and do everything they can. But Tyreek Hill, as he gets the ball over here, just uses his speed to the outside, and the Dolphins pick up a nice gain on this drive. Right there, Tyreek Hill beating his one-on-one matchups, hard to tackle in open field, gets all the way down to the 35-yard line. So because of the run game working, and the defense is now respecting the run game, even though they're up 17, they're still trying to play the run a little bit. Tyreek Hill in motion. The Dolphins are having success in the run game. That Tua actually has some time to throw a pass, which ends up putting him down inside the 15. And 1st and 10 from the Buffalo 15, they had a failed attempt at a run for Mostert. But I just want to point out how Tua just does the savvy move here and just tucks it and runs on this play, which I appreciated that from him. And he did this a couple times in the game. They bring 4, everybody's covered, and Tua just says, nope, not going to throw it to nobody. I'm going to take a couple yards. Thank you, Tua. Get us inside the 10. So now 3rd and 6 from the 11-yard line after Tua picks up a couple on his run. The Dolphins go trips down here at the bottom. Now, here's Berrios. Here's Tyreek. Here's Waddle. And this is a hide Berrios sandwich on this play. Because everyone's so scared of Tyreek, and they also got to account for Waddle, Berrios is able to just get all the way down here and go towards the corner of the end zone. And I just want to point out on this play that Tua, who had pressure coming, releases the ball early and puts a nice little floater and just drops right in the bucket because the safety's caught looking at Tyreek Hill down at the bottom underneath him. Little motion by Waddle there, clear it out a little bit, come back again, get a little run and start. Safety gets caught peeking in the backfield, and Berrios wide open on that play. Again, I just want to point out, hold on, let's rewind it. I just want to point out how early Tua throws this ball here, because again, they're getting pressure with 4 all day, and there he is coming around. Tua throws it nice and early and has enough taken off of it to put it right in Berrios' hands in time. So at this point, the Dolphins should be down 10 points, but an ill-advised 2-point conversion. I don't understand why they did it. It was dumb. They're only I don't get it. I really don't. If you get the 2-point conversion, yeah, it might swing the momentum, but the fact that you didn't get it only kept the momentum for Buffalo. You were going to be in a manageable position down only 10 points. Now you're down 11. It's just stupid. Now you force yourself, if you are going to try to tie the game up later with a field goal and a touchdown, to have to go to a 2-point conversion. I wasn't a fan of the 2-point conversion call at this point in time in the game. I didn't like it. But I want to point out on this play how, the protection was there all day. Allen should not have this kind of time to sit in the pocket. The D-line did not get any pressure. Notice that Andrew Van Ginkel is not on the field. They have opted to put Agba opposite of Chubb, which Chubb is just getting nothing as of late. But the real culprit in this play here, which shouldn't have been a big enough game, is in this spot here is David Long Jr. Now, David Long Jr. ends up coming all the way out here and picking up his assignment, which is the running back, who's deep back here in the backfield, who just trots on out, sits over here in the flat. And now I get that you have to account for Josh Allen, who is known to be a runner. He gets a little bit outside of the formation, but David Long then just takes his eyes off his assignment and allows Cook to catch this pass coming all the way behind him, and Cook now has nobody in his way until the safety Brandon Jones down here, and he picks up a massive gain on this. This is the type of stuff you expect to have happen to you because it is the Josh Allen effect, but David Long Jr. has just got to do a much better job not letting guys get behind him. I get it. Josh Allen's going to run. If he takes off and past the line of scrimmage, so be it. But here he is all the way at the top of the screen right now. Let's see if I can pull this back up. Hold on. Oops. Hold on a second. Here he is all the way at the top of the screen right now, and he's supposed to be covering this man right here. But because Josh Allen is now loose a little bit, I mean, is this Christian Wilkins? I think it is. Christian Wilkins needs to step up and meet him there to prevent this throw from happening. Again, ugly. But he comes up to play his man and then takes his eyes and puts him back on Allen long enough for Cook to get behind him and catch this pass, which is just crazy. Now, remember, here's your safety all the way out here playing deep coverage. They've gone, cover one on this. So, there it is. And look, I mean, let's be real. There's two guys that he has to cover. So honestly, let's go back. Let's see where all this went wrong. So it's Javon Holland that's at the top of the screen that just lets everyone go. Also, with Xavier Howard breaking across the middle to double cover a tight end, allows David Long now having to cover both dump-off guys, one being a tight end who's up at the top of the screen, the other being the running back who's beyond that. Honestly, as much as I want to blame David Long on this one, it's really not his fault. What was he supposed to do, cover two guys at the same time? If he would have covered one, he would have went to the other. Really, the D-line should have got that pressure in there, and they just didn't. And now, leaving, man-to-man coverage over here, this is just a good play design that should have gotten stopped by the D-line because the play is over at this point. But they didn't. D-line didn't get there. That's who's to blame on this play is the defensive line, allowing Allen to extend the play inside the pocket like that. And boom, big catch. Big run, missed tackle by Holland, and then David Long Jr. has come back and tackled him from behind. Holland had more missed tackles in this game than I've seen from him in a long time. So now with them in the red zone at the 12-yard line, 2nd and 6, the Dolphins defense finally shows up, and shout out to AVG, who doesn't allow Allen to do what he did the play prior in this drive, which is to come from here inside the pocket, scrambly aroundy. I don't know why I did that. Scramble around a little bit and step back up and deliver a throw. Great coverage in the back end. This is a coverage sack, and Andrew Van Ginkel doesn't allow Allen to get away from him on this play, which puts him back on a 7-yard loss on this sack. Shout out to AVG. Just pursuing, keeping his eyes upfield, and then steps on the inside to catch Allen and brings him up. Little cleanup there from Chubb. And the Dolphins defense is able to hold them to 3 on this drive now because after the sack, incompletion here. Allen runs a little bit and doesn't pick up enough, and that puts them at a 4th and too long 4th and 9, which they then take the field goal. And so now the Dolphins still, down, but defense is holding the field goals. Offense just scored a touchdown. We can get back in this game at this point. It feels far away, but it's not unreachable at this point in the game. But on the next series from the Dolphins, it kind of goes, the game almost ends at this point. So I don't really like this play. Chosen Anderson is here. He's the intended target. Tua kind of just never takes his eyes off of him, allowing the safety to read his eyes on this play. He comes up, and Tua essentially just throws it into almost triple coverage over here. Ball sails a little bit on him, and this is just a costly interception at this point. I understand that Tua is trying to make a play. I don't like the play call. There was, I forget who it is. I think it's Alec Ingold at the top of the screen or Braxton Berrios, one of the two. I can't remember. Comes across the formation underneath, and that's who would have been open. But I understand at this point in the game, you're down 3 scores, and you're trying to get back in the game, so you're trying to push the ball down the field. And this is where defenses can tee off on you. They know you have to pass. They know you're going to pass often. It's an empty set. You know what I'm saying? So you're chasing them in points, and this just ends up all but sealing the game with the second turnover of the game for the Dolphins. Tua tried to look off the safeties on that one, but just didn't happen. Sailed the ball a little bit to Chosen. You would hope that Chosen could get his hands up there and stop it, but no. And White ends up bringing it all the way back to the 25-yard line, which just all but ices this game at this point, man. It's just tough to watch. So after a stuffed run by Sealer, the Bills go ahead and pick up the first down after a couple of nice passes, a 7-yard and a 9-yard. Brings 1st and 10 from the Dolphins' 13-yard line. But again, the one adjustment they needed to make at halftime, they didn't. Cater Kohu down here on an island again with Stephon Diggs. And Stephon Diggs just, dude, the guy is talented. He comes up here, he does a little shake and bake, and then takes it over to the corner, and he's just wide open for this touchdown. And the game is now iced at this point. The Dolphins have to they got to get stupid on offense to try to win. And there he is. Boom. Little shake and bake. Look at it again. Just causes him to get behind his hips. And game over pretty much at that point. Let's look at it one more time. Down here at the bottom of your screen, Diggs comes into motion, gets inside, makes himself some room. Little shake. Looked like he was going to break to the inside and doesn't. Breaks to the outside. And Kohu, just a young guy, man. He'll get better on the boundary. I have faith in Kohu. But Fangio, this is a way you kill a talented young guy like Kohu like that, by putting him in positions against elite wide receivers on an island all by him damn self. It's just stupid. So the Dolphins decide to go for it on 4th down. I mean, you got to. It's 4th and 1. I don't mind that it's a passing play. I do mind that, they're playing deep out here, which means there should be something in the middle of this field open. I don't know what the hell, but Eichenberg here in the middle picks up the double team, and this defender here just hits him on the stunt move, comes free release, and Tua takes a sack to have the Dolphins turnover on downs. Just was not a pretty drive, but again, the defense can just tee off on you. But they're not. I mean, they didn't even blitz. That's the thing, dude. Like, what happened there? How did 4 guys come and every one of them got a hand on Tua on that drive? It's just ridiculous, bro. And now here they are at the 46-yard line, looking to just embarrass the Dolphins at this point. So now the Dolphins reeling. Xavier Howard down here finally lined up with Diggs, who they don't even look at, because why? motion coming up to the top of the screen with the Kincaid coming around the backside. But Allen just looks, sees the new guy out here, the guy the Dolphins traded Noah Igbenogany for, Joseph, and says, you know what? I'm going to have the tight end and Davis essentially run twin routes across the middle of the formation, and one of them's going to be open. And they just cook us for a big gain right here. Boom. I mean, how is there all these guys up underneath in the middle of the field? Look at this. Look at all these guys real quick. Covering no one, but yet you got two offense players sitting right here with one guy, the new guy at that, covering. No safety help because they're worried about Diggs, who's been getting covered. Linebackers, I mean, one of these two linebackers is supposed to pick up this tight end. I don't know which one of them it is. Matter of fact, let's go ahead and look and see. Let's see which one it was supposed to be. Oh. It's whoever this linebacker is here. That's David Long. Didn't even see the tight end. Never accounted for him. Or was it the safety who actually looks like he's covering that tight end? Let's let this play develop a little bit. So here it is. Both safeties. I think that's I think this is Javon Holland underneath here. Both safeties are covering one tight end, while there's another one over here being covered by no one. Now, that's not the other safety. I don't know who the hell that is. I don't know what's going on in this formation. They're just throwing everything at him right now. And, I mean, just gouged on this play. I mean, it's a decent tackle, but goodness great. No, there's Javon Holland. God, dude. Now it's fourth quarter, and on this next drive, they just waltzed in for an easy score from Josh Allen, who just puts the icing on the cake to embarrass us on the day. So the Dolphins will turn over on downs the next two possessions in this game, and the Bills will punt one last time. The Dolphins will end up losing. As you guys know, we only scored 20 points in the game. Bills scored 48. It just wasn't our day, especially defensively. They had no answers. But the biggest problem to me in the whole game was, we got Fangio because he was supposed to be a guy that can scout defenses. He's a guy that can scout, just supposed to be good. Like, I don't understand when in the week did it become the game plan to put Kader Kohu on an island against Diggs so many times. He had 3 touchdowns. It just got away from them in a lot of ways. So I'll be doing more film breakdowns like this. If you guys like it, make sure to leave a comment at the end of the video. Let me know what you guys think. It's a lot of work. Camera took a crap during the middle of the thing. I'm probably going to do it a little bit differently next time, but let me know what you guys think of this. It takes a long time to edit all this. It takes a long time to, record it all. So I hope you guys enjoy it. Make sure to hit the like button, leave a comment, and share the video. And we'll see you guys next time. Fins up.